This braided pesto bread, or savory babka if you will, is so easy to make and absolutely delicious. Hello pot stickers, I'm Greg and I'm going to get right into this. For the dough, I'm using my standard dough proportions. Please note that what I'm showing you here is double the recipe I have down in the link description, so if you follow the amounts in the description, your dough is going to be half the size. I plan to make 2 loaves of this for sharing. For my doubled recipe, I'm using 1 kilogram or 1,000 grams of a strong bread flour. If all you have is all-purpose flour, that will work perfectly fine as well. To that, I'm adding 20 grams of salt. So that's a 2% salt to flour ratio. I'm placing this in my stand mixer bowl because I'm not going to knead this by hand. Why, if you don't have to? To a bowl, I'm adding 20 grams of sugar and 20 grams of active dry yeast. To this, I'm adding 650 milliliters of water because I want a 65% hydration. If you're following the recipe below, it will be 325 milliliters to 500 grams of flour. Mix this well and let the yeast bloom for about 10 minutes. The sugar water will help to wake up the yeast and let it get active before you add it to your flour. Once the yeast is bloomed, add that to the flour and salt mixture and then knead the dough for 5 to 10 minutes. What you want to do is knead this dough for 5 to 10 minutes until it gets a nice smooth texture and is elastic. It will feel a little bit tacky, but once it's fully kneaded, it shouldn't be too sticky. Place the dough into a large enough bowl that will allow it to rise and double, and cover this well with plastic or foil or a damp towel. Let this rise until it has about doubled in size. That takes anywhere from 1 to 1.5 hours depending on the temperature of your kitchen. After it is risen, I like to sprinkle a little flour to the slightly sticky dough to help tease it away from the bowl, as you see me doing here. I'm trying to push some of that flour underneath as I'm scraping it off the bowl. And then I'm going to place that onto my board, and I'm using just enough flour on the board to prevent sticking, but not too much. Pull that dough together into a ball, and then what we want to do is roll this out into a large rectangle. You want to take a few minutes to do this, gently roll it out. It will stretch and then the gluten will tighten up a little bit, let it relax a little, stretch it a little more, roll it a little more, until you get a rectangle that's about 1/4 inch thick. If you're on the metric system, that's a little more than 1/2 centimeter or 635 millimeters. Next, we want to spread a thin layer of pesto all along the surface of your dough. You can use your favorite pesto, whether that be a jarred pesto that you bought from the store or one that you made at home. I'm using a homemade basil and walnut pesto that I made actually last year. I keep a lot of pesto in my freezer so that I can use it throughout the year when the basil is not coming fresh from the garden. When my basil is ready in my garden this year, I'll make sure to record a video for you to show you how I make my walnut pesto. You want to roll this up as tightly as you can into a log. Move slowly down the dough as you start to roll it. Once you have a good amount rolled, it's easier to finish rolling it out. Pinch the seam closed tightly and make it into a large log. Now, since I'm doubling the recipe, I have a very long log and I'm cutting it in half to make my 2 different loaves. If you're following the proportions in the description, it would be the size of one of these cut in half. You'll also have a smaller rectangle as you roll out your dough. To make a simple braid, or actually this is more of a twist, not a braid, you want to cut the roll in half lengthwise with a very sharp knife. Yes, this gets a bit messy, but it's so worth it. Separate the 2 halves and position them with those layers pointing up as much as possible. I like to see those layers of the pesto in between the sheets of the dough. I like to overlap them in the middle and then start twisting the 2 pieces together. Try to get it as tight as you can. Now, I should have twisted this one a little bit more tightly, but it'll taste good no matter how tightly you twist it. Here, I'll show you the process again with the second loaf. Cut them in half. Overlap them in the middle, twist them together, first towards one end, and then towards the other. Again, try to keep the layers upright as much as possible because I think it looks prettier that way after it's baked. It is certainly okay if it's not perfect, it'll all taste delicious. If it isn't twisted tight enough, you can always twist that dough a little bit more even after you've got to the end, as I'm doing here. Place the pesto loaves onto a sheet pan. I like to line it with parchment paper to help from sticking. Just adjust them to be as straight or as regular as you want. You could even wrap this up into a wreath shape if you desire a circle rather than a straight loaf. Cover these with a towel or a piece of foil and let it rise for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes until that bread puffs up some. I'm not looking for the dough to completely double as it will expand some more in the oven, but I do like to let that yeast work a little bit to make it airy and fluffy inside. While the dough is resting, this is when you want to turn on your oven and preheat it to 475 degrees Fahrenheit or about 250 degrees Celsius. Once it's risen to the level you want, put this in the oven and bake it until it gets nicely golden brown. The baking takes about 15 to 20 minutes depending on your oven. Since my oven doesn't heat very evenly, I like to turn the pan around after the first 8 to 10 minutes so that it gets evenly cooked all the way around. Check your bread after a total of 15 minutes because mine was done at 15 minutes. Yours might take a little bit longer, but check it. And here's what the bread looks like when it's done. The crust may feel a little bit crispy as soon as you take it out of the oven, but as it sits and cools, the steam from inside the bread will soften the crust and you'll end up with a really nice, softer textured pesto bread. Once it's cooled, you can slice it and eat it. This bread not only smells amazing, it tastes incredible. This is just one example of what you can do with a basic bread dough. As I mentioned before, you could shape it into a circle and make a wreath out of it. Try filling it with some sun-dried tomato pesto. That would be really delicious. You could smear it with softened vegan butter and sprinkle on some chopped garlic and make a vegan braided garlic bread. Oh my gosh, that would be terrific. Or you could even make a sweet version by adding some butter on top and adding some cinnamon sugar and making a cinnamon bread. There is no end to the possibility. You make it however you want. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please take the time to give it a like. I really appreciate it. It helps me so much, and we'll see you next time as the pot thickens. This braided pesto bread, or savory babka if you will,